Welcome to another edition of DAC-FP TV. I'm Don Friedman, President of the Digital Assets Council of Financial Professionals. Today, we've got Daren Blonski, Managing Principal of Sonoma Wealth Advisors. Daren, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Don. Glad to be here.
So let's jump right into this. The first question we have is, what is the stock to flow model and how does it play into an investment thesis?
Yeah, Don, that's a great question. I came across a stock to flow model back, I think it was very early 2020. There's this kind of anonymous Twitter personality named Plan B, and he created this, what they call the stock to flow to model. And it's similar to what you might expect to see in the commodity world with gold and whatnot. One of the cool things about Bitcoin is because it's programmed, right? In the gold world, a stock is looked at like what gold is actually out there, what's already been pulled out of the ground, and then flow is what's being pulled out of the ground and how much of it at what rate. And one of the cool things about Bitcoin is because there's only 21 million ever to be mined out there, you can run back kind of a calculation and see how much of Bitcoin is going to come onto the market. Basically right now it's in every 10-minute segments, and every few years, 4 years, give or take, the number of Bitcoin coming out every 10 minutes gets cut in half. And so that creates a constraining factor on that mining and ultimately creates a supply shock to the market over time. And so it's this really interesting kind of plotted price expected return that you would look for in Bitcoin. So long story short, it's basically a process of understanding how price moves over time in relation to what's coming onto the market versus what's on the market.
Interesting. It'll be good for financial advisors to maybe do a little more research on that, and something they might want to look into.
Yeah, I think it's really important, right? Because a lot of the issues that financial advisors have with Bitcoin, a lot of the issues that anyone has with Bitcoin is this kind of idea that it's this, cyberpunk dream to create this digital currency that everyone can partake in and transact on the web. And what you find, there's actually a lot more math to it. There's a lot more process to it than one would believe when you're just sitting around the barbecue and listening to talk about it.
Right. Interesting. Our next question is, what are the options for getting access to proxies for client exposure to the Bitcoin or crypto market?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and probably a more challenging question, because the crypto universe is evolving very rapidly. And when you're a licensed professional and have to abide by regulatory standards in a world where the regulations are not really there yet, we don't really know. There's a lot of regulatory uncertainty that exists as an advisor. There are a couple proxies right now. Some of the common ones people are using, one is GBTC. There's some trade-offs there with what's called a discount premium because it's exchange traded trust, if you know what that is. And it creates this kind of dislocation from the actual Bitcoin price to the price of the trust per share. You could also take some access through using something like one of the miners, right? Miners are looked at as a proxy. Some people like MicroStrategy as a leveraged option for getting access to Bitcoin. But you have to be a little bit more creative right now. There's some more ETFs that are coming onto the market that are giving us access to the overall crypto and Bitcoin ecosystems. But there's a lot evolving, a lot changing. I think that's where the risk is, right? And that's why the position sizing is so critical in something like this.
Yeah, we encourage viewers to check out our website, DAC-FP, because we actually have an article on the premium discount value. We did a mining virtual conference. We had Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. So those are additional resources for folks to check out in terms of additional education as it relates to proxies. So Daren, thanks so much for being our guest on DAC-FP TV.
Yeah, you're welcome, Don. Thanks for having me. Take care.